which I don't think there's anything on here that's.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, welcome everyone to our special meeting tonight, this evening, September 3rd, for the City of Mangum Commissioners meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you do a roll call and a declaration of quorum, please? Or I'll do that, but roll call, please.
Gay. Webb.
Here.
Reese. Bowman.
Here.
Okay, I'll declare that there is a quorum with 2 commissioners and myself as members on the board. Next thing is the consent agenda. There are 3 items, minutes of August the 6th, the August 2020 claims, and the September 2020 estimated payroll. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, or is there any item that needs to be taken off?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion on it? If not, call for a vote.
Webb.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Number 5, the financial report by the city manager.
Okay, let me share the screen here real quick. And there we go. So once again, we're looking at 2 months ago. This would be July's numbers. So the Oklahoma Tax Commission is always 1 month behind. So what we're actually seeing here is June's tax collection. And it's still not bad. Still not what we were expecting to see when this whole COVID kicked off. So 42,664. That's slightly down over the month before, 2.6 or 2.16, and slightly, very slightly above last year. So you could almost say it was the same as last year. Use tax is down a little, and kind of expect to see that just based on folks preloading themselves with all this goods from home, getting them all delivered. Comparing that to last month, it was down 20.99%, is 21%, and over last year was 12% down. And again, we're kind of expecting to see that, and we knew that was coming. So altogether, fund balance for the general government is 17,000 in the hole. We did have some expenditures that came in that we had to push through to get them done for the fiscal year, and that's going to account for some of that. MUA is catching up, and that's a good thing. So we're up 36,450. So those are your balance budgets on the bottom there. And to show you our wonderful graphs, here's your sales tax. And here is your use tax. Now, I will say we've already seen the numbers come in for August, which would actually be July's. And you will be very happy with those numbers. They're up from this month that we're seeing here. They're up almost 16,000. So it's sitting at 59,000 for next month, and that'll be reported, of course, in October. So it's a fantastic number, and we're really, really happy about that. So
59,000?
59,000, yes.
Wow, that's the biggest. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So that is our sales tax discussion, our financial report. Do you have any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
I don't. I like the sound of it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the ordinance and resolutions on number 6. Discussion of possible action to approve resolution 2021-05, a resolution authorizing the city to apply for the FY21 SENA grant. Do I have a motion?
I'd make the motion.
Have the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion on this at all?
Just know that once again, this is the senior grant is always goes to the senior food program through CAG, SOCAG, sorry. And they were a little late getting us the documentation and the paperwork. This was supposed to be turned in on September 1st, but that's all right. We got permission from SWOTA to go ahead and get this resolution done, as long as they were able to get the application done, and they did that. So we're happy to help them out. So
And that was it like 2,000?
It depends
20,
what they ask for.
yeah,
They ask for 2,500.
they're asking for 2,500 this time.
Okay. All right. Could you, Noah, is there any other discussion? Call for a vote, please.
Webb,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Number 7, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2021-06, a resolution concerning funding pursuant to the CARES Act and the Coronavirus Relief Fund, confirming that it is the policy of the city of Mangum that all public safety personnel, police, fire, dispatch costs are substantially dedicated to the COVID-19 response efforts of the city throughout the ongoing state of emergency. Do I see a motion there? Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second, but I'm got some questions.
Right, and then now go ahead with the discussion and ask your questions.
Dave, do you mind explaining this just a little bit?
Sure. And I've got backup on this one. So we have been working with the state of Oklahoma for months now. And this kind of all started back in May. They told us to start gathering up all of our receipts that we have spent on anything COVID related, and to submit those via a portal that they created. And we did that. We did that right on time on June 4th. We still have yet to see that. We've got some problems with technical issues on the state side that we're hoping they solve here really quick. As things progressed, the state realized that this thing was a bigger monster than what they thought it was. So they came down and said that there's going to be a cap for all the cities at $77 per capita. So using 2019 estimated census data, that meant that the city of Mangum is eligible for a cap of $209,000 in reimbursable expenditures. It's 209,000 and change. Now we've already put in a request for 12,000 of that. Then they came back in August. The state came back, and we held a meeting with the governor's task force on this. And then during that meeting, it was announced that the federal government and the state government have said that your public safety personnel whom are dedicated to, substantially dedicated to the COVID-19 relief effort should be reimbursed for their time. And the way that has been defined and the way that has been interpreted and interpreted statewide is to say that up to the cap of $209,000, we are allowed to be reimbursed for police, fire, and dispatch personnel expenses, which includes salaries and benefits, as long as the commission identifies them as substantially dedicated to that relief effort, which they are, because as that information comes down and comes through the emergency management office, it's our dispatchers that then have to identify each one of the residences that are identified, and it's the police officers that have to manage, and we're responsible for the care of that data. So we're substantially dedicated to it. This is, and I've gone to auditors, I've gone to the state attorneys on this to make sure that everything is on the up and up, that this is legitimate, that this is what we need to be doing. OMAG is the one that sent forth the guidance on this, along with OMMS. They've built the guidance sheets on it. And Corey has dealt with this. You've dealt with it in your other communities as well. I don't know if you want to talk about any of it, but that's what this is. This is us saying that our police, our fire, and our dispatch are substantially dedicated to the COVID-19 relief effort for the city of Mangum. And it authorizes us to get reimbursement of their payroll from March 1st through December 31st of this year, up to a cap of $209,000.
So my understanding then of the resolution is just to signify them as those agents.
Correct.
And that's all it does at this point.
That's all this does, is it identifies them as they are the ones that are substantially dedicated to our relief effort. They're the ones that are doing all of the relief effort for the city.
Okay. I just was a little confused when I read it, and okay. I understand.
And I'm going to add just one quick thing. OMAG, as well as the Oklahoma Municipal Attorneys Association and OMMS, have also sent out a bunch of literature. And in that literature, some of the examples they say is even for communities that might not necessarily have dedicated public safety individuals, that they use one example where, for example, their if you have just one guy that does utilities, how you can word it to make them eligible. So this is definitely something that they want all the communities across the state of Oklahoma to participate in and utilize.
It's the state's method of utilizing all of the funds that we received.
Right.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, call for a vote, please.
Bowman,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Number 8, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2021-07, a resolution authorizing application for financial assistance from the Rural Economic Action Plan Fund through the Southwest Oklahoma Development Authority. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. You want to tell us?
Yeah. Dave.
Yep. So all this is every year. We didn't do it last year because we do it every other year, and that's only if we receive REAP funds. We received REAP funds in 2018, so I did not apply for it in 2019 because you get a substantial hit on your scoring. REAP funds this is done through SWOTA. You can select anything from $10,000 up to $75,000. The more you ask for, the worse your score is going to be. But on the same token, if you have a consent order, that puts you well above everybody else. So REAP grants kind of work out in a positive way for those who really desperately need money. We are going to apply for funding. Right now we're waiting to see what the outcome of a DEQ inspection is, whether or not they're going to hit us with a consent order or they're going to just let us go with a notice of violation. Either way, what we're going to apply for the REAP grant for is most likely going to be that DEQ
I just
violation.
can't imagine them still saying that there's a violation.
Yeah, they're still saying there's a violation, and I can discuss it. I don't really want to get too deep into it. We just got re-inspected, and they were happy with our findings. They were happy with our responses. We've got we have to install a new emergency pump on one of the lift stations, and also put a alarm on that so that if that emergency pump turns on, it triggers an alarm so that it's audible for everybody to hear that. That is most likely going to be our consent, or not consent. That's going to be our violation, our big violation. And so I'm working right now with our engineer, Sullivan, on this to figure out how much of that's really going to cost, and hopefully we can get all that done. I wanted this on this agenda so that we don't have to have an emergency meeting later on in the month when I do find out how much that is. So this resolution is just authorizing us to file the application.
Any more questions or explanation? If not, call for a vote, please, Billy.
Webb,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Number 9, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2021-8, amending the general fund for the fire department for the grant money received. I believe they received $1,500. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, do I have a motion?
Well, before, that's not what the resolution's showing though, unless I'm
I'll
seeing
explain
something
it. I'll explain it if I can get a motion.
We can just have a motion and then,
Guys, I'll tell you, I think that's not correct, but I'll make the motion.
okay. Well,
I'll second.
You and Ronnie get together and tell me what to do. You,
Well-
Ronnie,
Well, but
Ron Gay.
Corey can help me on that because I believe in the actual stuff, it says that we don't have to have a motion. We can discuss an item on the agenda without the emotion.
Well, that's what I want to do.
Okay, well, I do too.
It's what we all want to do.
That's what we all want to do. So we will definitely get to the
But-
bottom of that. Okay. If
Yeah.
I can go ahead and get a motion in a second now, and then we'll,
We
We
already
got the
did.
motion and we got the second.
okay, all right. So go ahead.
Okay, so here's what it is. The fire department, we reached out and we got a grant from Centerpoint Energy to help us buy some bunker gear for the fire department. They were gracious and gave us a $1,500 grant for that. So yay, that is fantastic. Along with that, at the exact same time that came in, we also received a FEMA refund of 3,000. Billy, you got that number right in front of you? 3,400 and something?
3,400.
Yeah, 3,400. That is to reimburse our cost for a fire that we had in, I believe, Harmon County from a year and a half ago.
Wow.
So both of those together, we're amending our budget to put those into a grant fund and use that funding to help us buy another set of bunker gear later on.
How much does a set cost?
A set
Uh-huh.
runs us $3,000.
For one set?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And we budgeted for 4 this year, or actually we budgeted for 3 this year. But we're hoping that we could get enough to get 6.
All right. Any other discussion, questions? If not, call for a vote.
Bowman,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Okay, number 10 on old business, discussion and possible action to accept the hospital board's nomination to appoint Carson Van Zant to the hospital board as trustees to fill the unexpired term that ends September 2021, which is Greta Kane's vacancy. Let's go ahead and do a discussion on that. Is there anything we need to
Okay.
discuss?
Because I'm not going to make a motion. I thought it was understood, or what we were going to do
Right.
was have someone on the
So let's
commission and
let-
someone in Granite.
Yeah, let's let,
So what
Right.
what we're wanting to do is to get these folks on the board and adjust later on after we can settle things out for any of these. If somebody drops out or a term expires, that we're going to put in a commissioner from Mangum and open it up to a city council member from Granite. We went back and forth on this with the hospital board. They were not prepared to for our suggestion of that. We didn't talk that through with the board before we did it, so understandably they were not happy with that. I think we just need to go ahead and do these two nominations, appoint them, and then if we really do want to make that change, we make the change for future open spots,
just like when their term ends, right?
just like when their term ends.
When
But
their
here-
term, Go ahead.
Here's my concern, Dave. There's stuff going on that the commission's not privy to, and we're the oversight of that, I guess, whatever it is. And so there has to be a motion. I'm not going to make the motion, and I won't second a motion on either of these. I believe a Mangum City Council member needs to be on it, and I believe a Granite City Council member needs to be on it.
and what he's saying right now, Ronnie, though, is that.
Well, I know, but
You've got-
Mary
yeah.
Jane, what I'll tell you is I've read some stuff concerning this that concerns me greatly, and
I
I feel
agree.
like we need to be a part of that. So I'm not going to make a motion or second.
I agree. What the problem is right now is we need to get the board filled right now so that they can get some stuff.
So
Yeah.
the best way for them to fill that board is to give us the availability for one seat and Granite availability for another. I'm not going to make a motion.
No,
Okay.
I'm in agreement with Ronnie on this. I mean, why? And okay, so I'm a little scattered right now because I got a lot going on. But explain to me again why we can't have that seat. Why can't we get in there right now? Did I miss something?
Dave, go ahead and explain kind of what she's asking.
So basically, we brought up Corey and I brought up this idea out of turn. We kind of should have brought it to the hospital board first. It was the way that it was brought out was to say, and it was received as though we were trying to stop one of the nominations to the board, and it really had nothing to do with it. We think that the name that they put forth would actually probably do a really, really good job and would be great for the board. What we were seeing is that we in the past have had a problem filling vacancies on the board, and this was going to solve some of that issue, and it also was going to give us some of all the things that you are talking about, Ronnie, that it's going to help give insight onto the city board of what's going on the hospital board. We spoke out of turn, and we should have brought that to the hospital board first. And they have come back and requested that we put forth the nominations as they nominated them, the way that they've been doing it, and to follow their procedure. So that is what I'm doing here today.
You know, years ago, I don't know how many years ago, this commission was the hospital board.
That's
And
correct.
we had 3 meetings. We would
That
meet.
is correct, Mary Jane, but what ended up happening was the city commission actually amended the trust indenture to state that the commissioners would appoint 5 separate individuals, and that is still what's in place right now.
And is that what would have to be changed?
Yeah, and that's what I was changing. That was what the proposed change was, changing how those seats are filled. Because right now those seats are supposed to be filled by 5 separate individuals from the commission.
So, Corey, let me ask you this. So whose authority it is to change that, Is it the
Both of
commissioner?
y'all's.
Okay. So
The trustee and the trust, the hospital trust, and the commissioners both have to make that change for it to be effective.
When you
And-
say they both have to make it, what do you mean? They have to approve that in the hospital board meeting and then we have to approve it here?
Correct. Yes,
And
both
if it's
boards
not
have to
approved
approve
in
that.
one or the other, then it doesn't happen.
Correct. Yes, because that's what actually happened back in about, I think, 2004, 2005, was the commissioners voted to change the indenture back to how it used to be with the city commissioner serving as the board, but the hospital board never made that change. So we have to go back to the last valid amendment, and that is this commission appoints 5 separate trustees.
So the way that trust thing is written, then you're telling me that we don't have any control over that, and they don't have any control over that. And if we don't get together on it.
So we need a joint session.
Yeah.
That we're working on that.
Okay. So up until that point, there's still no motion on the table.
Well, but of course, what I know Dave is saying is that we need to take the steps in the right order. Corey,
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that, but just it doesn't change the fact there's concerns and there's issues, and I'm not willing to make that motion.
Okay, Shelley, how do you, at this point, I have to ask for a motion. And we still have a quorum, which means that I can vote and second if needed. But Shelley, can I can't.
I don't think you can make a motion, Mary
I
Jane.
don't think I can.
No, it's got to come from us.
Yeah.
No, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not willing to make that motion right now either. I'm concerned about the issues at hand with the hospital board and what's going on out there.
Okay, so at this moment, then we do not have a motion and we do not have a second. So the item number 10,
Just no action.
no action. No action on number 10. Okay. At this point, then we'll just go on to the new business. Number 11, discussion and possible action to accept the hospital. Oh, those are the nominations and stuff.
This is second nomination. The old business, we tabled that during the last meeting. This is what the hospital board put forward at their last meeting.
So are we supposed to go ahead?
We go through the motion. We either,
Yeah, okay. I just need to know, this is to accept the hospital board's nomination to appoint Laretha Vincent to the hospital board as a trustee to fill the unexpired term of Roger Reeves, who his term expires in September of 2022. Okay, do I have a motion?
And I just want to say, it's not personal with any of the
We
two
know that.
nominees.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. All right, I hear no action on item number 11. And then item number 12, consideration to approve the purchase of a John Deere Model Z 920M zero-turn commercial lawn from Western Equipment in Hobart for $8,426.88, budgeted item from the Fleet Management Fund. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion because I'd like to discuss.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Any
So,
questions?
Mary Jane, correct me if I'm wrong. So when I first came on the commission, we bought 2 brand new mowers, and we bought them. It was my understanding that we paid the money we paid for them because they were going to last us a while. Did anybody else recall that?
Is this
Huh?
is this replacing one of them? I mean, I
Yes.
don't know how many mowers we have.
So I will say we were running with 4. There were 2 Troy builts and 2 Kubotas. I've been going back and forth on this and dead set upset about what it was that we bought and what we got are, I think, 2 different things. The Kubotas that we got are not commercial grade. They're designed to mow your lawn once a week and last you a couple of years. The Troy builts are a little bit better. They're a little bit better equipment and they're better built, but they're falling apart as well. Now, there's 2 trains of thought on this. One is we need to take care of our equipment, to which I can now assure you that our mechanic and our parks department guys are doing their absolute best to take care of the equipment that they have. But I'm also, while they're taking care of that equipment, we're putting out $200-300 here and there to replace spindles, to replace decks, to replace blades, to replace. We're constantly having to replace parts on these Kubotas because the Kubota parts are massively expensive. So knowing this, we put on the budget to replace these lawnmowers every 4 years. That means one of these high-end mowers every 4 years, and then sell at surplus to get some of the funds back from the mowers that we are replacing. That way, we've always got working mowers. Right now, I think we're down to 2 that actually work.
Oh my gosh.
Plus there's the bad boy, which I think is what you're talking about, is actually for code enforcement. And that is an actual commercial grade mower, and it's running strong. It's running fine, but it's owned by code enforcement.
So this
mower is going to go to the parks department for
Okay.
use on the parks and at the cemeteries.
Is that the reason why the parks and stuff look the way they do right now, is because we haven't had the mowers,
Right.
and this will change that quickly.
Oh yeah. And this mower is in stock right now. He's got it, and once we approve this, we'll have them deliver it to us next week.
And what was our budget? What did we have in the budget?
We budgeted $8,500.
Okay, so this is going to come under budget.
Yep. I can bring that up if you want to see it.
No.
Okay, any more questions, discussion? Okay, call for a vote, please.
Webb,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. There's no executive session. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Call for a vote, please.
Webb,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. We are adjourned. At this time, we're going to go directly into the Mangum Utility Authority meeting. I'm going to call this meeting to order. And would you please do a roll call?
Scott,
Here.
Reese, Bowman,
Here.
Gay, Webb,
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Consent agenda, 3 items. special meeting minutes to approve on August the 6th, August 2020 claims, and the September 2020 estimated payroll. Is there any item that needs to be taken off that agenda?
The minute.
You want to take the minutes off?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda minus the minutes.
okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. At this point, let's go ahead and what do we do? Go ahead and approve number 2 and 3? Okay. So would you please call a vote to approve number 2 and 3 on the consent agenda?
Scott,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, let's go ahead and discuss item number 1 that was removed from the consent agenda. Go ahead, Ronnie.
It's number 6
Okay.
on the minute. I was a nay vote on that.
Oh, and it
And
shows
so-
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so that needs to be changed
as soon
to
as
nay.
you as soon as you asked to bring it out, I was like, let me look. There it is.
Okay. So
Now we
would you
got that
like to
off.
make a motion? Is that the only thing, Ronnie?
That's the only thing I saw.
Okay. Would you like to make a motion then to approve that with that correction?
I would make that motion.
Okay, we have that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, and that's with the correction on item number 6 to show Ronnie voted a nay. Call for a vote, please.
Webb,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Dave, is there anything else on all this stuff that there's nothing else, is there?
No, no, I would like to really quick, I know it's kind of out of turn, but the agendas that you see before you were created in our new agenda management program. So they're a little different than what you're used to seeing. I hope that you like them. Billy and I, we've kind of taken some classes through Municode, the company that does this for us, over the last month, and think of this agenda that you see as our final project for that, and we're really happy with it. This also gives us the ability to take minutes electronically. So as we were doing the meeting tonight, Billy was going through and clicking on all of the minutes to make sure that it's all done electronically. It's a whole lot easier than having to write things out. So we're really excited about it. We're really happy that it's come through. I think it's a beautiful product. I think it's amazing what they can do with it, and it gives us for us the ability to generate and create an agenda. Went from what would take us weeks to we built that agenda in a couple of days last week. So it was really nice to be able to do that, and so hopefully you guys like it and like the format. And if you want to see any changes, let us know offline, and we'll make those changes.
Right. If there's nothing else at this point, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd make that motion.
I'll make that motion. Oh,
That's all right. You can second it.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, call for a vote, please.
Scott,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, meeting is adjourned. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be, city manager will be keeping us updated on those other items we talked about. So,
Yep.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
Bye.
goodbye.